My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. The Timberwolves go down 3-0 in the series in the Western Conference Finals against the Dallas Mavericks, taking a deficit that no team in NBA history has ever overcome. Impossible is different than never done before, but I'm not exactly in the mood for optimism at the moment, especially after watching this latest installation of a third straight game that the Wolves could have won and dropped. And that's the more important part, the end of that statement. This one they lose in Dallas after losing the first two at home, and we do not score any points in the final 5 minutes of this game to end up losing 116-107. The only basket that was scored in those final 5 minutes was a layup within 20 seconds left by Ant that was just kind of conceded because the game was already over. So we got nothing in that stretch. Karl Anthony Towns has another one of those games. And as much as I'd like to rant about how horrendous and pathetic the officials were, which is true, and is true every single game, what a mess the NBA is with officiating. However, this came down to the Dallas Stars showed up and the Wolves didn't. That's been the story of the series so far. It has been 3 poor games due to comparing to their standards for our stars, and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving have been themselves in those 3 games. And it's very demonstrative in this one. Cat again, 5 of 18. And Anthony Edwards has his third quarter punch where it looks like he is taking over, has the amazing, enormous slam over Dallas's best shot blocker, elevating to absurd proportions, hitting insane mid-range jumpers, getting himself open all in his bag. But it was just the third quarter. Early in these playoffs against Phoenix, you saw that third quarter spark, and it was a blazing flame that engulfed the sun to eclipse that series. That didn't happen in the fourth. He has four fourth quarter points, 2 of those being that layup that doesn't even really count. And he would be sitting through stretches in that quarter too, but the entire offense just gets stifled. It felt like our identity has kind of been stripped from us in this game, or in this series rather. We're built on defense. Felt like the Wolves defense through these first 3 games could never shut off either the Luka and Kyrie scoring, or the Gafford Lively lob threat. And both of those things were active in the first 2 games. The role player perimeter jump shooting was not there. Also, we were at home. Usually the role players make more shots when they're at home. And then we never were able to stifle either of those 2 things. And then they still had those in this game, on top of the role players then making everything. They shoot 56% from the floor, 50% from 3. PJ Washington, killer threes. Derek, what's his name? Really good dunker. Derek Jones Jr. making 3 for 3 on his threes. And the Mavs had everything going for them. And even though the Wolves, it felt like their defense never really clicked and was on top of things in this series, and we got 3 straight games of horrible Karl Anthony Towns shooting and subpar Ant playoff performances. We were in every game. We should have won multiple of these. You could argue all 3, and this could be a completely different series, which gives you a glimmer of hope that we could rattle off 4 straight and do what has never been done. I mean, we've got the best defense in the NBA. We still have Anthony Edwards. I'm not going to give up on him. And pressure is an immense force on this. If you win a couple, then there's a lot of pressure shift going on where Dallas starts to feel a little pinch in their anus. And also, I've been saying that this defense should be one that wears on a team, especially against the Mavs, who have been up against good defenses. But there's theory, and then there's what actually happens. And what has actually happened in this series that I actually like the Wolves a lot, they've lost all 3 games. So they got to go out and make it happen, make it and prove it. And, you know, I'm going to get rid of this thing that's distracting me on my computer. It took a while to click through that. Man, I've been out of the loop, or I've just been out of it after this loss. It's hit me a little bit hard. Staying grateful that we've had a season like this through this year, and it's not for sure over, but it has been a devastating hit. Man, how it feels like the hangover after the Minneapolis Miracle, where we're one game away from playing the Super Bowl at home for the Vikings, and then the Eagles smack us up by like 40. That's kind of what this is feeling like right now. A very typical Minnesota sports moment. It's hard not to see that. I still have a lot of hope for this team, especially with this core likely sticking around, or at least is under contract for that time. Cat, where's he going to fit into the future? Who knows? But this team should stick around. I have faith in Anthony Edwards. We got more time. This season wasn't the only play, but it hurts nonetheless when you know you're this close. And every game was winnable. Mike Conley and Jaden McDaniels, brilliant offensive games, couldn't produce as much as they should have because of foul trouble just conjured up by Ben Taylor and those other sucks. Tony brothers. Ugh. Start from scratch, NBA officiating. Jesus. It's so bad. Slow-mo has been brilliant all throughout this series. I mean, he deserves the hat tip too. Scoring so efficiently after struggling in the playoffs. I kind of predicted that. Some of what I thought would happen has been true. I just didn't anticipate this level of detraction from the Stars and our defense not putting things together exactly right. Plus, the shot making has just been otherworldly out of the Mavs, especially out of their two big guns. Hasn't been the case with the Wolves. It's a sad day. I'm getting loopy. It's time to go. This is likely the last season of Pulse of the Timberpups. Might just have one more video left. You never know. Could be revived. Could keep going. We might keep this season up. But it's been a good run. I'll try to probably recap the season after this. It's been a ride. Wolves back. Wolves will be back. Peace out.